Remember those days, those L's, I couldn't sleep right now. I get paid, vacay, I'm staying B-side. Breaking the blues over steak, I gotta eat right. You could be my peace sign. I don't need bad energy around me. I just need sun, you're so cloudy. I wake up good, you're so grouchy. Please get from around me. When the truth don't work, you start telling lies. Thought you were down to ride, you weren't down to ride. Caught switching, you were picking sides. Don't blink, caught slipping like a slip and slide. I was shooting dice till I got a nosebleed. Money on the floor, can't get cold feet. Took a L, should've put it in the offering. Lord forgive me for my sins, don't know of me. Scary thoughts, I got scary thoughts. Lost control, now I'm taking charge. Breaking bills, friends breaking off. You could be the youngest, I'm the dawn. Kiss the ring now. In the scene like G.O.T. Stay awake, don't sleep.
You guys see JJ video, that's what I was talking about. Go on their noonday, they do a noonday chat every day. And they talk about different ways to improve your health, your mental health. They talk about situations, and then also they allow you to comment and converse with them. And so it's really good. And like what I was saying about being a listening spirit, we all need one at some point. But sometimes being a listening spirit could be a little overwhelming. So I'm really grateful for JJ Video for their noonday chats, because I share it with people who I know need to talk to someone and perhaps learn different ideas, and learn that other people are going through similar situations that they are. Sometimes it helps to know that you are not alone. Seriously.
You know what happens after your funeral? In a few short hours, the crying will die down, and your family are going to start making arrangements to feed your relatives and your friends. Some of your relatives are going to be discussing current events as they eat in Shima, Chihuahua, and Sebi. And some people will call your family to tell them that they can't make it in person because of some emergency. Other people are going to start making travel arrangements to go back to their own homes because life is just too short. And someone in your family is going to start arguing that they contributed more financially than others did. Eventually, the crowd is going to go their separate ways. And every once in a while, your cell phone would ring from people that didn't realize that you had died. In a few days, your children will go back to work. Your employer will begin to search for your replacement. There will be new elections, new scandals, and the traffic on Great East Road will be the same. The Zambia national soccer team will play their games just as planned. In 6 months, your spouse will be watching a comedy on DSTV, and she'll start laughing. The first anniversary of your passing will be celebrated in a grand manner. You will be forgotten at an astonishing pace. Everyone's life will go back to normal. But in a blink of an eye, years are going to have gone by. There will be very few people left to remember you. Now tell me, if people will forget you so easily, then who are you living your life for? You spend your whole life worrying what people think about you. They don't, and they won't. Live your life for you.
That's huge. I saw that this morning on TikTok, and it really got to me. I'm like, holy shit, wow, dude. He's right. Um but the good news is, if you're alive to hear that message, it's telling you something. Don't focus on the death part of it, okay? Because that's inevitable. It's going to happen to us. You got to get used to that if you're not already, and you got to get into an acceptance place of that. But if you heard that message and you're here for that message, you're living. What he's telling you is to live your life and be happy. Do the things that make you happy. Because at the end of the day, in like 5 or 10 minutes, because that's what it seems like, when it's all over with, what was it all for? Shout out to Karen Everett. Thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful message that you put out there, for that beautiful shout out. I really appreciate you. And that was amazing. When somebody who has a following like like she takes the time to mention you and look at your streams and watch your podcasts and get something from it and share it with others, that's huge, man. Shouldn't have to look at my podcast. Nobody does, but you guys do. Those of you that come in here day after day, Jess, Ro, my beautiful wife, always by my side, you know, guys, Dolly Bush, Buddha 1000, everybody that comes in these streams, Janetta, Jamie, Jen, thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means to me when you guys show up, because it makes the stream that much more fun. Rap God Reloaded, Dex Crockett, you know, all of those guys that will randomly show up, Hoop Jargon, those are guys that I dealt with in the genre that I played in mostly before, but they still, we've built friendships through that medium, and they still keep in contact. I still keep in contact with them, and they will pop up in the stream here in the stream here and there, and that lets me know that I'm reaching people, because I'm not really in that pool as much as I was. They don't have to reach out, they don't have to come to my shoes, but they do. That means I've touched them as they've touched me. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Pink Floyd said it best when they said, long you'll live and high you'll fly, only if you'll ride the tide, balance on the biggest wave, you race towards an early grave. All you touch and all you see is all your life will ever be. He's so right. I can't believe that we are coming up on, Prince has been dead 6.5 years. What? It seems like it just happened. Michael Jackson has been dead 12 years. 12. My grandmother, it seems like it was just yesterday, already coming up on, what, 18 years? My mom, like 12 years? No, 11. But still, seems like it just happened. Jen's grandfather is already coming up on, like, what, 4 years. That's crazy, dude. It's over in a hot minute, and you will be gone for a longer period of time than it took your lifespan to go by. I mean, really. You know, I look at Aaliyah. She's actually almost now been dead just as much as she was alive. You know what I mean? She was 22 when she died. She's been dead now 21 years. John Lennon, same thing. His death has surpassed how long he was actually on this earth. But look at the impact they made. Pause. Look at the impact these people made. James Dean died in 1955. Okay? I don't even want to do the math on that. But yet he sits on my wall alongside Prince with a quote, live as if you'll, die today, dream as if you'll live forever. And all of the James Dean stuff that's out that still sells off the shelves, because that's how he affected people in his 24 years. It doesn't matter how long you're here. What matters is that you live for you and you be the best you can be in every moment that you are gifted with, no matter what's going on. That guy yesterday, Hal Elron, we looked at, died 3 times. He had a car accident where he died on the spot. Then he died twice in the coma that he was in subsequently to that. Then he had the cancer thing that he was knocking at death's door. So this guy, if he can face death that many times, I've faced it myself a couple times. And yet here today, I sit and I talk to you and I tell you, so what? I'm still here. And as many lives as I can affect by being a positive force, letting you know I struggle too. I almost died too. But I'm here and I'm managing to take those things, accept them as it is what it is, and it was what it was, and it's happened, and there's nothing I can do about it. But be happy right now. Be at peace if I can't be happy right now. in this moment. Because really and truthfully, it's all I've got. And it's all you've got. Isn't it true that the only thing you truly have is what's inside of you, how you feel, how you think, and this moment in time? I mean, think about it. Time is something we created. It doesn't really exist. Can you go back and live yesterday? Can you live tomorrow? Tomorrow's created when? Now, right? So isn't it true that now is the only thing that's real when it comes to time? Those other things are perceived time. What I want to do in the future, what I have done already. Now is the only thing that is truly real. What's inside of you is the only thing that you actually have control of right now. So you've got to take that knowledge and use it to live for you. Because at the end of the day, you heard them. You're going to be forgotten. So as many people as you can touch, that's how long it'll take for you to be forgotten. So touch and help as many people as you can. And nowadays, there's no excuse because we've got all kinds of mediums to do it. We've got TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can reach millions of people at one time in hundreds of countries. Ramsterdam would come on comes on the stream from time to time. They're in the Netherlands. I've never been to the Netherlands. I had someone coming in when I was first doing the Takeover Tuesday named Jazan in Trinidad. I've never been to Trinidad, but yet I've reached someone in Trinidad. I've reached Karen Everett all the way in Atlanta. I've never been to Atlanta. I've reached Hoop Jargon. He's in California. I've never been to California. So there's no excuse. Use what you have at your fingertips if you think you've got a message that people need to hear, and touch as many lives as you can, because guess what? At the end of the day, that's how you'll be remembered. Live for you. The only way you can do that is to be the best you can be. And I have a feeling that there's a lot of you out there that have a lot of good in you, and you're not utilizing it to the fullest, and you're not sharing it. I know for the longest time, I'd come in here and I'd jam and I'd play drums, but the only people that got to enjoy it were Jen and myself. Until TikTok came along and I did that little like mini concert the other night. I had the best time in my life when I did that. And I feel like Prince is on the other side with his foot up my ass saying, bitch, you're a musician, a real musician, not one of these pitch control, synthesize, sampling. Not that that's wrong, because trust and believe, I like Post Malone too. Okay? But real musicians like Irene Cara, who just passed away, who died trying to put real music back on the map, real instruments, shout out to Bruno Mars, man. Because Bruno Mars has taken it way back to when music was real, to when people actually played the instruments that you hear and people actually use their voices. So at the end of the day, you can't go wrong living for you, because when you live for you, you get in a happy place because you're happy, because you're providing for you. You're providing that happiness, and only you know what truly makes you happy. Nobody else can give you that. Nobody else can give you that. This right here, what I'm doing, makes me happy. It gives me peace to talk and share my experiences and share the things that I've been through and the struggles that I've been through, and come to you and still be like, hey, you will make it through. Because guess what I did? We don't have a choice. We're going to make it through anyway. But I keep quoting it. Are you going to walk through the dog shit, or are you going to walk around it? Are you going to let everything trigger you and offend you and set you off? Or are you just going to say, hey, it is what it is? Actually, it's kind of funny. And see the humor in somebody who makes fun of you. Laugh with them. Because you know that there's some funny shit about you. You know there's some things that you're jacked up about or funny and okay, I could get why they're probably laughing at that. I mean, if I wasn't me, I'd probably laugh too. Even though, but you're getting your feelings too much. When I'm trying to tell you now, getting in your feelings too much and having a bad day over anything at all is pointless. You're only here for 5 minutes. Stop wasting fucking time being miserable. Stop wasting time in your head. Stop wasting your valuable lifetime dealing with stuff that at the end of the day, it's never going to matter to anyone. Do the things that matter to you. Because when you get cremated and sprinkled in the ocean, who's doing that? You're not doing it. Somebody else is doing it. You're gone. You don't get to have your cake and eat it too there. So it's over. It's done. You want to make sure that when those ashes are sprinkling and spread it out across the Atlantic Ocean, or you are lowered into the ground 6 feet under, that's not the last people think of you. That's not the last image they have of you. They start remembering all the ways you touch them and start acting accordingly. You know what? I remember she said, stop dealing with the bullshit, and it affects your life in a positive way, and you go on and do something that makes you happy because you remembered something I said or something Jen said or something anybody said that matters in your life. Stop wasting time. Live for you. It sounds selfish. And you know what? If, there's any way that, because it's a fine line. My own daughter doesn't talk to me because she deemed me selfish because I moved to another area that was 2.5 hours away from her. Right? Because I chose to live for myself. And I don't have the eyesight to be able to drive to see her and visit her normally. So where's your visit? You can come see your mother. You only get one of them. Stop harboring something that means absolutely nothing. If you have to live anyway, why would you live in anger? Why would you live in fear? Why would you do that to look, you're doing it to yourself. You can be your best friend or your worst enemy, dude. And so many years, I was my worst enemy. No more. No more. If nobody else elevates me, I'm going to elevate me. I am going to look on YouTube and reach for shit that makes me feel empowered. Because no matter what I do, I'm going to be inundated with bullshit. So I need BSR. I need bullshit repellent because there's too much of it out there coming at you from all different directions. So you've got to arm yourself. Karen Everett talks about that all the time. Arming yourself with things if your power goes out, like solar panels. Arming yourself with things like canned goods when the food shortage is happening. Arming yourself with skills like growing your own vegetables when there is no canned goods to buy. And then you got arming your mind with as much hokey pokey positive shit as you can do, as many affirmations as you can fit in there. Get them in. And don't just listen to them throughout the day. You know my motto, subliminally heal, man. Listen to them while you're sleeping, because they will then be embedded inside. You listen to it while you're awake, you're just taking it in on the surface. Hell, you may not even be listening to it. It may just be background, but when you listen to it when you're sleeping, it actually gets in. That's the secret to retraining your brain and changing your thought process, because you are no longer in control of what you decide to go with and what you don't, because you're sleeping. Your gatekeeper is not there. It's asleep. Got to get past the gatekeeper if you really want to have change in here. It works. Guess what I listened to last night? That's funny. No wonder I'm charged. I found Hal Elrod's book on YouTube, absolutely free. It's called Miracle Morning. It is on YouTube. Did I put the link in it? No, I didn't. But I will when this is over with. I'll go back and edit this description of this video, and I will put the link to that book in there. Listen to it. You know? But if you're too busy and if you're not doing anything, throw the shit on and listen to it. Get a cup of coffee, curl up and listen to it and take it in. And if you don't have time, do it while you're sleeping. There's no excuse, because then you don't have anything to do but go to sleep, and it will get in your subconscious where you want it anyway, because that's the only way it's going to work. That's the only way you're going to truly use it. And if you do it for 30 days, because you can't listen to it once, got to do it for 30 days, it's going to become part of your fiber. Baby, I hope you're proud of me. I looked at the mute button today. I'm like, whatever you do, don't do the mute. Hey, Jesse, hey, listen, we don't have time constraints here. You're never late, okay? You're never late. I'm just glad you're here. Speaking of which, shout out to my beautiful mother-in-law, Kathy Wozniak. Dude, what the hell? Oh, you know what? My bad. I'll be right back.
Turn out. About to throw a party, get it lit and wild out. Cut the cake and we gon' sing. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you. Yeah. Happy,
Happy birthday, babe. I hope you're out there having a good one. And thank you for being born, because had you not been born, my soulmate wouldn't have been born. I just want to make every day worth it. I just want to continue to live for me. If that makes me wrong for living my life, because at the end of the day, I'm the only one that's going to go with me when I die, I'm going to make sure that my life meant something, and that while I was here, I enjoyed my time here, because I don't have, it's like, if you can't come to the party, don't bother knocking on my door. Dude, life is like a huge party. Parties don't last forever. And you can decide whether you want to have a good time at that party or a bad time. You can decide. Either you're going to be a wallflower and you're not going to dance with anybody, or you're going to get out there and dance by yourself regardless. Have you ever noticed that? Have you ever done that in a club where it's like, okay, you're not shy, you've had a couple drinks in you, so all the fear is gone, and you're scared to ask somebody to dance or whatever, or you just get out there and dance by yourself, and all of a sudden you have people that are surrounding you or dancing with you. You know what I mean? That's happening. I'm like, you know what? Hey, I'm just going to come in here and yeah, baby. And next thing I know, hey, so you got to put yourself out there. You know, you got to live your life for you. Because at the end of the day and at the end of your life, that's all that matters, truly. It's not selfish. It's actually very selfless, because when you make you happy and you do you, you are so much better for anybody that's in your life. You are such in a zone that you add to that person's life now. Because just like he said, life is going to go on when you're gone. People are going to, talk about this and talk about that. Your phone may even ring a few times, and 6 months from now, everybody, it's going to be a memory, it's going to be a memory. I remember dreading the day that I would lose my grandmother, and then going through it when it actually happened. And now it's been 20 years and I will admit, I don't think about my grandmother every day. Every day she's not burning a hole in my mind like she did initially when she died and I was upset. But make no mistake, at some point, if I see the number 121, which was her favorite lottery number, or 1221, which became another favorite because it was her apartment number when she moved out of her house and moved into a senior citizen building. 1221. And at any time I see that, I say, hey, grandma, you know, it's like her saying hi, you know, or I'll talk about her on this stream. Doesn't mean I don't think about her and I don't live her life's lessons, but she lived for her. She lived her best life. When she was a big party giver, dude. Here I go talking about her. St. Patrick's Day didn't matter. She was throwing a party. Everybody got to come dressed green. And she would send me off to a babysitter. She lived for me, but she lived for her. She had fun. She had friends over and had parties. She made cakes for people and did things and did her. When my grandfather died, she did her. Because at the end of the day, that's all you really have, man. It's not selfish. That's the only way you're going to be able to give to somebody else. Tell the truth. Think about this in your mind. When you're having a shitty day and you can't seem to pull yourself out of it, how good are you for those around you? And sometimes you got to push through and do things anyway, but you're not doing it where you're accepting of that moment and enjoying the moment and doing it. You're almost doing it in a huff. People see that. They realize she don't really want to be doing this for me, but I appreciate her doing it, but I can tell she don't really want to be doing this. And sometimes it's hard to hide it. Sometimes you're just in a zone where you don't feel like doing it, and it's hard to hide it. She used to catch me doing that every now and then, I became an expert. I became an expert foot massager with my grandmother because she was heavy, right? And she would have she was one of those women who she'd be on her feet all day, and because she was heavy, she would have calluses on her feet. And every now and then she'd go to the podiatrist and have him cut the calluses off, the dead skin, and she'd have all these bandages on her feet. And I remember the first time she did it, and one night I couldn't have been more than about 10 maybe. I was like, Grandma, you want me to rub your feet for you? And she said, oh, okay, yeah, sure. She was going to bed, and it was summertime. I was visiting her for the summer because I had begun living with my mom. I was raised by my grandmother until I was 8, and then my mom took over, and she gave my mom the house, and she moved into a senior citizen building, right? And I was like, yeah, I'll rub your feet. Let me rub your. I want to do something nice for Grandma, and I turned out to be pretty good at it, and so it became a thing. Would you rub my feet for me tonight? I'm like, oh, God, I want to watch Friday night videos. I'm like, she'd be like, please. It just feels so good when you do it. And she'd put me on this guilt trip and I'd feel bad. And I'd all right. But I did it kind of in a huff, You know what I wouldn't give right now to rub my grandmother's feet? It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, you know, don't do it. Don't do stuff in a huff. Stuff in a huff. Stuff in a huff. Stuff in a huff. You got to keep it light, man. Because, I will take you in a rabbit hole that is deep as shit, man. Because that's how morbid I can be. But that's also how motivated I am. Because I'm a Cancer. I'm emotional. We're up, we're down. God forbid I was bipolar, Jess. Good God Almighty. And bipolar Cancer is not good. No, because we're already emotional. So, yeah, man. That's what it's all about. Living for you. Living for you. Because that way, you will always do the things that will continue to keep you in a zone that you are happy and at peace and getting what you want out of life. Whatever you truly want. And sometimes that may mean you have to hurt somebody that you love. You know, you may have to hurt people in the process because, like, my daughter being hurt that I moved down here and she feels like, I moved too far away and we're alienated. It's people who travel all over the world to see each other. That doesn't mean anything because I moved. I moved because me being a Cancer and had the opportunity to live near the ocean. Come on. That's like a kid in a candy store for a Cancer. Not to mention the fact that I am now 54 years old and I'm not getting any younger. And if I had an opportunity to live at the beach, why would I stay cooped up in Baltimore City in an apartment that was way too small? Why would I do that and be unhappy? I'm probably would be a better mother now than I would be if I was cooped up and miserable. Because why? I am happy internally. Any advice that I could give, any lessons that I could teach from things that I've learned, they're open, they're right there. But because you're so built up with anger, you are blocking your blessings. I'm never going to block my blessings. I am never going to block my blessings. Because trust and believe, I don't even know where she lives. And I have reached out several times. So, because if I knew, I would show up on her door. Hey, I know you're getting my messages. Okay? I would show up. And she knows that. So that's probably why I don't have her number or where she lives. But that's a shame. Because I got a lot. And you could benefit. But you know what? She's got a lot too. Because I put a lot in her before we parted ways. She's a smart girl. She's a very smart girl. So I'm sure she'll be okay. But, it is what it is. I have come to peace with it. I have accepted it because guess what? That's one of those things that you absolutely cannot control. It is another person that is doing that. That's her reality. That's her experience. That's what she chose to do. I can't change that. So for a long time, I had some serious anger and sadness about it. But I realized that that wasn't doing me any good to be feeling like that for something I can't do shit about. So wasting day after day being pissed off and angry and upset, what did that do for me? What would that have eventually done for me is it could have made me relapse and have another bout with cancer. It could have caused me to have all kinds of mental issues. And I'm not doing that to myself because I choose me first. As selfish as that may sound, is it really selfish? Who's going to hold you in judgment for it? Is it going to keep you here longer if you live for other people? Because you're going to go anyway. Guess what? At some point, you're going to be gone and they're not going to be able to have you there anyway. Are you going to waste your life constantly living outside yourself and not making yourself happy? Hello? You there?
Yes, sorry.
Outside yourself and not making yourself
Hey.
happy. Hey, is that
Oh,
me?
I'm delayed. I was listening to the other one. I was like, "Wait, you're still talking. Why are you how are you talking to me in my ear?" I just wanted to come on and say hi. I only have like 5 minutes, but I'm enjoying the stream and thank you for all the lessons and to learn to
Thank
live
you.
for ourselves. I think it's like sometimes people think it's contradictory because you hear all these cliches and things like give to others and live for others. However, it's more not like when you're talking about being kind and giving to others, but to give yourself to others you have to be internally happy and be living in your truth and for yourself. So it's kind of like
Damn.
it's
I
the
couldn't. Damn. You're such a writer.
it's the coffee. I can't take credit.
That was good, man. That is exactly what I have been trying to say. I like the way you put it better.
I might put it in rhyme for you too.
Yeah, she's a good poet. Yeah,
Uh,
that's so true, Jen.
It it is just and it's like it sounds like you said it's not actually selfish because you're actually giving others more, you know, you can give them a more fuller version of yourself and a more, you know, a better version of yourself when you're living for you. Like
Yeah,
we've seen people who are, like you said, you can know that they're not giving you everything fully. You can know that they are you can just tell, like we were watching I keep bringing this up cuz it's the last thing we kind of just got into and watched, but that Colton thing, where he finally came out as a gay man as a football player and he's able to now really give true love to his family and
that's
to
a
his
good
friends because
example.
he's not living in that lie. Was he a giving person? Did he give millions of dollars probably to charities? Yes. Did he have an
He has.
organization where he helped kids? He was giving, but he could never give himself, his true self to others. So he was
Look at
living
what
for others
happened.
but not living for he was living too much for others.
Look at what
Now
happened as a result of him doing
he
that.
helped so many more people.
The restraining order that Cassidy had to take out, the fact that he literally attempted suicide. He was ready to take himself out and take him away from the world. Look at all those kids that he helped through his organization that would have lost this awesome benefactor
And
that
what
has been a part of
about
their lives because he
just
was not happy.
think about by him coming out the amount of people that he helped that might be in that same situation now by him having the courage
Yes.
to do that, the people that might be thinking of suicide that are in football and have these expectations from their parents, they're like, you know what, if he did it, it's okay, he made it so that's okay, and people before him have done it. However,
Ellen
not
DeGeneres,
anybody. Yep, same
she helped
thing.
a lot of people to do that as
Yes.
well, with regards to coming out. And speaking of which, transgender, transsexual, LGBTQ period is a huge example of living in your truth and living for yourself. Anybody who has taken the steps to come out, speaking on behalf of the LGBTQ community, that's not an easy thing to do because you're going to get bashed for it. If not by your family, by somebody. It's not looked upon as something that is accepted or normal still, all these years later, you know?
Yep.
But people continue to come out, and regardless, gay marriage tends to be something that is growing in each state that you can legally get married. And it's something that when you're a person who steps forward and says, yes, this is my sexual orientation, and I'm living my truth and I'm not hiding it anymore. That takes courage. But you will now get a way better person that is contributing to the world as a result of them doing that. How many people
Exactly.
who are gay have contributed so much to this world? Not only that, like musically, Freddie Mercury, Liberace. Okay. Look at what they left in this world.
Yeah, and if you like, the thing, the whole saying of people will forget, but like literally, like you said about your grandmother, they might forget in the day to day life. However, my grandmother's been gone, like you said, for how many years now, since 1996, and like literally, I can hear her in my head in certain things, and I can still
Yeah.
remember, the lessons and the things, like not even that it's all the way in the forefront of my mind sometimes, but if I really look at what I do day to day, it
Hmm.
really stems from a lot of what she taught me. So she left her presence in this world by what
Yeah.
she taught us. And now with social media and book, people that have written books and things, they continue to pass that on not only to their immediate family and friends what they taught, but you can pass it on to so many more people, and people who have done brave things,
Yes.
like the Martin Luther King, like the Ellens. I mean, all the way to whatever you come out with. If you don't follow the crowd and you allow others to be able to feel comfortable to live their truth, that is something you are giving to the world, because you are not, afraid, and that makes other people not afraid too, and makes
At
them
the
know.
at the risk of dipping my foot in the religious pool, which is something that I don't normally do, Jesus Christ is one of the best examples of that.
Yes.
He gave his life for people to be able to live and be who they are. Okay, don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? He didn't stand for one thing or another, but he was willing to die for what he believed in. So you take it where you want to with that. Okay, but he lived his truth. Oh, well, that's not really how things go. Okay, well, I'm saying it is.
Right.
And he was willing to continue to preach that to the point where he was threatened with death, and he still didn't stop preaching the word of God. So it is what it is, that's the ultimate example of living true to yourself and living for you. And in doing so, he gave himself to the world because he gave his life for the world. And that's because that was what was in him to do. That made him at peace. That's what he lived for, you know?
Yes.
And I feel like I'm finally living my truth, sharing. You know how much that message, I'm like, if I can touch somebody like Karen Everett, who else can I touch? How many people can I touch? Can we touch?
Yeah.
You know? Can Jess touch? Can
Yeah.
who, who,
My
how
Jess
many?
is a perfect example, coming on here the other day and speaking her truth and telling others what she's been through and how she's, still moving forward and overcoming it. That helped so many people that will hear this live, and it helps us to be able to do it as well. It helps
You need
us
a
to tell our
YouTube channel,
story.
Jess. We'll come on your channel, girl. And
That's
we got
right.
to do some of them TikTok lives, man. We got to get some boxes set up and get on there and just spend some time. And it doesn't have to be morbid. We can talk about the TV shows that we want, but we got to do some TikTok lives. I would love to do that. I'm
I would
getting
love it.
more and more familiar with it. I've been going on Velvy's stream. Shout out to Velvy. Shout out to Castro. Shout out to Princessita. Shout out to all those guys over there on
Sandra.
TikTok that I've been hanging out with. Who?
Isn't there a Sandra that we
Oh,
talked to in
Sandra.
Velby?
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
I'm like picturing the boxes of like the mainstay boxes, like who
Tiny
was
Hands, Manita Conchita,
the guy going
ASMR,
Moringa?
aka ASMR, Carlitos
Hmm.
and Castro. Yeah, these guys are awesome.
I have really enjoyed. I do have to jump off of here
I
because I'm
I
on the
gotta
late
jump off
shift
too.
tonight.
I gotta jump off too
I
because
know
I
you got a
actually
lot going on.
I want to listen to that book. You know what I mean? So I want to get some more of that goodness in me while I'm awake and enjoy it as well.
Thank you,
So
everyone, for coming, and thank you for
thank you,
having
Jess.
me.
Thank you for being here, baby. And I'm gonna play all three of those videos that I played at the start for anybody who may have missed it. Shout out to those of you who are watching the replay game. If there's anything that you want me to talk about in the stream or any ideas that you have for videos, please leave them in the comments section. And the link to follow and support me in this channel is in the link of this description here. It's got everything in there. The TikTok, anything, if you want to follow me or support the channel in any way, is in the link. Meatless Monday is in there. Karen and Thomas BSR, please check their channel out. The link is in the description. Okay. But anyway, live for you, have an amazing life, and enjoy the videos.
Turn out, about to throw a party, get it lit and wild out. Cut the cake and we gon' say happy, happy, happy birthday, happy, happy, happy birthday, happy, happy, happy birthday to you, yeah. Happy, happy.
You know what happens after your funeral? In a few short hours, the crying will die down, and your family are going to start making arrangements to feed your relatives and your friends. Some of your relatives are going to be discussing current events as they eat in Shima, Chihuahua, and Sebi. And some people will call your family to tell them that they can't make it in person because of some emergency. Other people are going to start making travel arrangements to go back to their own homes because life is just too short. And someone in your family is going to start arguing that they contributed more financially than others did. Eventually, the crowd is going to go their separate ways. And every once in a while, your cell phone would ring from people that didn't realize that you had died. In a few days, your children will go back to work. Your employer will begin to search for your replacement. There will be new elections, new scandals, and the traffic on Great East Road will be the same. The Zambia national soccer team will play their games just as planned. In 6 months, your spouse will be watching a comedy on DSTV, and she'll start laughing. The first anniversary of your passing will be celebrated in a grand manner. You will be forgotten at an astonishing pace. Everyone's life will go back to normal. But in a blink of an eye, years are going to have gone by. There will be very few people left to remember you. Now tell me, if people will forget you so easily, then who are you living your life for? You spend your whole life worrying what people think about you. They don't, and they won't. Live your life for you.
You guys see JJ video, that's what I was talking about. Go on their noonday, they do a noonday chat every day, and they talk about different ways to improve your health, your mental health. They talk about situations, and then also they allow you to comment and converse with them. And so it's really good, and like what I was saying about being a listening spirit. We all need one at some point, but sometimes being a listening spirit could be a little overwhelming. So I'm really grateful for JJ Video for their noonday chats, because I share it with people who I know need to talk to someone and perhaps learn different ideas and learn that other people are going through similar situations that they are. Sometimes it helps to know that you are not alone. Seriously.